ولكل حي عقيل في قبره عمل يقارنه هناك ويسأل.
I wanted to speak with regard to men. Now, I'm not saying this has no role to play with women, but I want to speak with regard to the men about al-quwwah wal-shaja'ah and al-haybah. I want to speak about strength. I want to speak about bravery. I want to speak about haybah, having a presence. And I want to speak a little bit about al-azima wa tahammul, like being determined and resolute. And I want to speak about these with regard to the men. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said, the strong believer is better and more beloved to Allah than the weak believer, and both of them, there are good in it. What strength is this? The first type of strength is iman. Because the Prophet ﷺ said, al-mu'min, and he didn't say al-rajulul qawi, yani he didn't say the person who is qawi. He said the mu'min. For this quwwah, first of all, is quwwatun imaniyah. So the first mistake that a man thinks is that the quwwah that is required from him is the quwwah of, bodybuilding and big muscles and all of that. Sahih, that comes into what is mentioned in the hadith in a secondary sense, like strength and power and all of that. But before that comes quwwatun imaniyah. Let me ask you a question. Why did the shaitan run away from Umar? Was it because of his biceps or because of his iman? Iman. No doubt, Umar wrestled the jinn. Umar was huge. But Umar, it wasn't the biceps that made the shaitan run away from Umar. It was the iman. So thinking that mujarrad al-quwwa al-jasadiyya, just being strong in the body, is what makes you a man, هذا غلط. It's completely wrong. What makes you a man is to join between the quwwah of iman, which is the most important, and then whatever Allah has given you from, first of all, the quwwah of the nafs, before the body. Al-quwwatun nafsiyya. And what I mean by this is the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, that the strong one is not the one who wrestles. It's not musara'ah, the one who wrestles the other person. The qawi is man yamliku nafsahu 'inda al-ghadab, aw kama qala sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the one who can control himself when angry. So if you want to ask what kind of strength makes you a man, the more you can bring of these three things: quwwatun imaniyah and quwwatun nafsiyah, the strength of iman, followed by the strength of self-control, followed by strength of the body. And if you can bring these three things, what an excellent person you are. If you can bring quwwah imaniyah, and you can bring the quwwah where you control yourself, and you can bring the quwwah of physical strength, for this is what Umar radiyallahu anhu brought, and before him the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. We see too many brothers, and they do well in the gym. Like in Sarah, to be honest, you see that person at 50 years old, what's left? Can't even stand up to pray. He sits on a chair to pray. That's not the quwwah that lasts. But the quwwah imaniyah, the quwwah of a person's iman, the quwwah of a person's self-control. There's no point in being the strongest guy in the room if you're darrabun lin-nisa. Every time your wife does something to upset you, you take your hand and slap her about. What's the point of that strength? That's bringing you Allah's anger and Allah's curse. It's not bringing you anything good. Like in a person who has iman and self-control, and on top of that is physically strong. And again, there's some people I've got, they're working on the iman and they're working on the self-control. Like in al-musibah, kul al-musibah, the person, to be honest, if you ask him to walk to the hotel down the road, he can't walk there. Let alone to run, let alone to defend his family against someone who attacks them. And the person can't walk a mile down the road. You have to bring all of them, salah, you do. And you need to be physically competent. I'm not saying you have to spend hours in the gym, but you need to be like someone who can manage what Allah Azza wa Jal puts in front of you. But that has to be preceded with iman and with self-control.